This is the What's on Draft podcast.
You don't want to do it, don't you?
No, I was trying to think.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
This is the What's on Draft podcast.
It's like back in the old school YouTube days where it's just like I can't do the intro without like just sounding like American.
What? We did YouTube? What? What? That's it? What?
I can't do it. I literally physically can't bring myself to say it.
It's cheesy, isn't it? So cringe.
I can't read anything from a script.
How was the two cringiest people unable to do the cringiest things? I don't know where is the intro on? Is there an intro?
It just says welcome to the first episode of the What's on Draft podcast. There you go. That's it.
Yeah, you've done it. Yeah, nice.
Right. Welcome to the what? I fucked it up. Oh no. I want to say welcome to episode first.
What?
Oh god.
Yeah. So
right, we're not doing an intro. That's it. Right, that's it. That's it, guys. That's it.
You even went American there.
This is staying in.
That's it, guys.
This is staying in. This is staying in.
Right. No! Don't leave it in, mate. Don't.
This is staying in. This is staying in.
So
flip of the whole thing.
This is the What's on Draft podcast.
Yeah.
That's me trying not to put an American accent on.
Right, so yeah, this first episode, it's obviously episode 1. Right, and so we've titled it First Times, since it's
okay,
our first
do you
podcast.
need to take a breather? Do you need to take time out?
No,
just go and take 5 seconds. Just take 5 seconds outside. Just let the air. You've had too much to drink. If I was a bouncer, I'd buy you out. Look, you're in your own house.
I'm in the bin.
You are in the bin.
In the bin. We were going to call the podcast In the Bin podcast, I think, but then somebody took it. I think, yeah, it was like some rugby podcast took it, so you know.
Because in the bin.
T's and C's. This isn't affiliated with any other podcasts of a similar name, not at all. And also, we do not advocate the usage of alcohol beverages.
Yeah, What's on Draft is a curiosity question about what's going on in the world and also what would be unserved.
Smart. We'll just set it as like a political podcast so it gets like all the views.
Please no. So, episode 2, Donald Trump.
Banned straight away. Get Donald Trump on the podcast.
Right, I just like to grab by the pussy.
Oh, we should totally hire an impersonator for a podcast.
Oh my days.
And just get them, just do loads of like interview the impersonator or whatever.
Yeah, that's sick, right?
Some shit like that.
That's sick.
Right, so first thing we've got on our notes, I guess then. Oh no, first things first, what we're drinking then? What's on our draft today?
Oh yeah, of course, you got into the dragon with What's on Draft.
3 minutes in.
And we've just done the intro. So tick that one off. What's on draft? It's a can of Carlin for me, my friend.
Yeah, go on. This is not Stella.
It's not. It's not even a can. I mean, not even draft. It's a
exactly.
nice little can.
Well, yeah, I was drinking bottles of Budweiser, and now I'm on the vodka energy. No. Energy company affiliated.
It's the knockoff energy.
Knockoff energy. And
30 pence for
I'm on the fruity mango vodka.
Oh mate, but there's some scenes going on in your belly right now.
Budweiser vodka energy, why not?
Oh, you just need a toe of garlic mixed in there, and you're on your way.
Oh, I've already had pizza as well. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah.
I know. But it's full night out in my lockdown bedroom.
Get a black light in your room. Woo!
Not in my bedroom. I've pretty much got one. I've got like my blue LED lights. So I set them to like it's raving.
Full beam. As long as you don't have a black light in your room, because God knows what that'll see.
Well, I mean, happy days now. You didn't want that a few years ago, but yeah.
Oh no. There's a certain pillow I got you that I know would definitely flag.
That sounds weird. It's not a pillow. Well, it is a pillow, not a weird pillow. when I first moved away to uni, which was 5 years ago now. Made myself sound old now. You bought me a frozen pillow and a lava lamp,
Yeah.
as in like the Disney TV show movie.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a frozen pillow. It wasn't a pillow that was frozen.
It was frozen, put it in the freezer. It's give me it. No, it was like an actual. So I had whoever the two people characters are. What are they called? Elsa and is it Anna?
Anna, yeah, Anna and Elsa.
On the front, and for some reason I just kept that in my bed. Comfy pillow. And then that was just in my bed during 3 years of uni.
Yeah, during university, which
and
is
then
disgusting.
every person that had like come round would say, "Why is that there?" And I'd be like, "Well, funny story."
I like how they use the term every person that would come round. Every person that would come round.
No, I mean
Yeah,
just in general,
yeah.
like friends and like
all the associates
general.
you invited into your tiny room.
That was once one room. But anyway, we're going off topic because uni. We could probably do a full episode on uni.
That's a full time. That's the first time at uni. There you go.
Right. So, our first question that we've got written down then is right how we met. Then, like, how do you remember us meeting?
Oh, I remember must have been about year 8. You know what? I don't know how it started, but we the guy Tom who's in my science new year is in your form, and I think we passed you one time, and he said, "Oh look, there's googly eyes."
Oh,
And then I don't know, because I was an aggressive person. Maybe I decided to slap you. Don't know why. It wasn't. Was it a hard slap? I don't know.
no, I remember now. Yeah, I
I
think that was probably because obviously we went to school together, same secondary school.
Yeah, that's pretty start.
So we knew well. So I think we knew you obviously from year 7, but we didn't have any classes and whatnot together. So I pretty much remember it to say I think it must be year 8 or 9 or whatever. And then for some reason, I don't think we ever spoke. We just started like slapping each other on the face for some reason.
Yeah, like I remember one specific time, you were stood at the door. Yeah, you were like, bear in mind you're like 3 foot taller than me at this point as well.
No, I didn't grow till I left school.
You were still taller than me.
I'm probably still taller than you.
I stopped growing in primary school. And yeah, like I just remember walking in through the blue doors of our like house block, which is like where we all meeting our year. And then you were just stood there, and I just remember turning around and slapping you and thinking, like, you slapped me and we slapped each other for about 30 seconds and you left. I think I remember our head of year shouting at us. And we just turned and walked away from each other, and we're like, yeah, that's normal. That's just something we do now.
That's just what kids do, isn't it?
I don't know. I never see two lads just start slapping each other, then go, "All right, see you later." Like it wasn't like we were fighting. Like it was just like you didn't even say hi. You just be
that was instead of like a fist bump or a high five. That's what we did. I guess.
And that is how I've lost 6 brain cells.
Didn't have it begin with. No.
Whoa. So what about you? Is that the same? That we agree.
Yeah. I agree with that same story. Yeah, and then from there, so because we didn't have any classes with each other, because like. In our school, we were split up into like different forms, which I guess every school, secondary school had. But then ours had like half of the forms would be in the same group, and the other half of the forms would be in the same group. So then our forms never like were in the same class until year 10. And then because we both chose PE is our subject. So then we both did that, and then I think from there that's how we got like talking properly, and then obviously I met everyone else because you were already friends with pretty much most of them from primary school, weren't you?
Yeah, so like I grew up with Joe all the way through primary, or most of them anyway, like Tyler and that. But as I believe you started walking home with Joe at one point, and then that's
because I spoke to Tyler and Joe in year 7. I can't remember how I spoke to Tyler. I think obviously it must just be in the house like whatever you do as kids. Because he was in your form, wasn't he?
Yeah, Tyler.
So we didn't have classes together. But then I think I had some classes with Joe or whatever. So I went to the same primary, different primary schools all use. And then obviously we were in PE. And then that's how I met all yous in that same primary school, really. It was from year 10.
Yeah, we had our little group. To be fair, our group did stop talking for a bit till about year 8, year 9. Which I know is only 2-3 years, but... And I remember like we were like, where's Josh, like the new kid in the group? Do you know what I mean? Like, and like it was only me, Joe, and Tyler and that. And then we looked out the window, and you were outside with your your mates and like Scott and stuff on the playing footy. And so we were like, right, what? We're not having this. So we just charged out in the field and like got you.
Not allowed over friends.
So,
I I stopped speaking to all them after like I met yous.
Yeah, we did that.
You probably just like scared him off, and I was like, oh,
A
I'm
very
not allowed to send to
controlling
friends.
relationship. That's what we were.
No, you're still like that. Like if I make new friends or something, you're like, oh, I don't know. You're not allowed new friends.
Yeah, exactly. When I went to uni, I was surveying. I was like, "What are you
Exactly.
doing here?"
When I went to
Get off,
uni, you were like,
don't
no,
touch
you're
it.
not allowed to make new friends.
Because we were always in trouble in school. Like we were always getting detention and stuff. So when
I was a good boy, mate.
yeah, well, you were. I
apart from Joe got me in trouble. But we need to get Joe on the podcast, right? Because honestly, I was in my school reports every time it was like he's a good lad or whatever, but he gets too easily distracted. That was on every single teacher's report ever. And I was just like bang average in every subject. So I think I got like C's in every single subject. And then I started having more classes with Joe. And then I just started getting in more trouble because of Joe, even though it wasn't my fault.
yeah, that's what they all say.
And it was so I blame Joe.
Yeah,
to
be fair,
he has to defend
It
himself.
was requested on my because when I left St Joseph's, shout out, the primary school, and I actually requested to be in Joe's form and Tom's form, and then I got stuck with Tyler. I didn't get in either of the form, and then I found out that it was actually requested that me and Joe were separated because apparently I don't know what happened with Tom, but like. Yeah, we weren't allowed to be near each other because we were always just like chucking each other about and stuff in primary.
Standard.
Yeah.
That was standard.
Which is what we carried on doing when we left. I mean, yeah, but
pretty much
crazy.
Yeah, and then I started growing taller and taller, and then you just got fatter and fatter.
Whoa, whoa, where did that come from? Yeah. Until about 2 years ago, I was at a decent fighting weight, and then you settle down, and it's all downhill from there. Do you know what I mean? Just because you're like living the high life, you know what I mean? You're like,
well, I won't be in how many days?
Oh man, I have a timer. I have a timer for
I've
this.
got 1, 2, 3,
7?
4.
No.
I've got
No.
6 days left of freedom.
Is it first? Sorry.
The third, I think.
I can't do math. Oh, to be fair, this is not going out to the fourth, so it's a bit awkward.
Oh well, yeah. So from when you're hearing this podcast, I have lost my freedom because my girlfriend is moving in with me. So
he's joining the club.
my freedom's over. Oh no, cut that bit out. Can I?
No, it's gone, mate. It's gone. I've got to the point where I've actually had to make a countdown clock to say goodbye.
Yeah,
to
well,
Josh
you
Riolo.
lost your freedom like I don't know how many years ago was that? A year ago?
A year and a half.
2 years ago?
Nearly two.
That thing.
Yeah, no choice of mine though. Like I had full intention to move down with you, and then obviously.
Yeah, you said that as soon as I moved. Well, 'cause obviously, yeah.
Yeah, no.
I
was saving money.
I moved away, so.
Yeah, you left me. Remember that one?
Yeah. Up and left everyone.
I was saving for about a year and a half and just trying to get my debts paid off. That was my issue. I had like 800, 900 quid of debt still left to pay off when I met Sarah, which was like, I think I was originally like 1,000, 1,500, 2,000.
Yeah.
Just trying to sort that out, and then then I bumped into Sarah, like obviously my first love, and
shout out.
Yeah.
This is the love segment.
Yeah, don't
This is the robotic segment.
Don't listen to me for all, man.
Not good advice.
Yeah, and then obviously I don't know, like it all went really weird with like family matters and stuff, and then in 2 months of the relationship, no, it was actually a month into the relationship, she had to move in with me, so I would and because where I lived was considered rather not up to standard, we then had to move within the couple of months into a nice house, I guess.
Yeah.
So
you were happy in that crack den.
I love that crack den. I loved it. It's probably
living above a dealer or something, was it?
I lived around 3.
Well, yeah, just your full clause was just
like a little block. It was like a block of flats.
It was literally like the ghetto, wasn't it?
Whoa.
It was like
shout out.
Nah. It was like the Billingham version of Detroit.
Oh wow! Really laying in here. Now you just like attacking Detroit. It's a whole state, isn't it? Is that state?
Detroit's better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Detroit's probably better.
Wow, you're just attacking wrong people now. They can do us in.
No,
Shit.
no, Detroit's a city in Michigan. I
Is
think.
it Michigan? Yeah, right. It sounds about right. So I had to question it.
But yeah.
Hey, to be fair
It's just
though,
not-
like I'm from around that area. Like grew up with me. Like my family's from that area, and when you're part of it, what you find with say rougher areas, it's actually miles better. Like to live in. Do you know what I mean? Like, because everyone knows who you are, people get on with you. It's good crack.
Yeah, there's a lot more of like a community. So I think because my cousin used to live like around the corner from where you used to live,
Mm.
and like one of like voted like one of the worst roads in like Billingham or whatever. And then like literally you'd go visit him or whatever, like with my cousins, and like everyone would just be out in the gardens having like the garden chairs out or whatever in the front garden, and everyone's be talking, but people would just walk in and out of each other's houses in the corners, like without knocking, just or like everyone's leave the doors locked, walking in and out and stuff. And it was just like it was mental to me. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, because like,
Yeah.
you could leave like say like where I am now. We're on about getting Christmas decorations and stuff and putting them in the garden and make it look pretty. But
Yeah.
you've always got that question of like, who's gonna steal them? And it's like someone's actually it's already happened in Billingham. Someone stole someone's massive Santa and stuff, and it's disgusting really. But where I live there, you could do it because if I know this to happen to someone who lives there, but if someone was to take something, everyone in your street would have been looking out. And they'd have seen the person, and then it starts fights and it starts shooting. You have this kind of like, and nobody like, even though you think, oh, how does that like house in that rough area have all that stuff just left out in the front, like left out, sorry, like a bike or something? It's because everyone is so close that it just, and sometimes that's better than a nice house. You know what I mean? So
yeah, there's definitely a lot more like a community spirit or whatnot in like would you say like rougher low class areas or whatever, and like where I live, what was more like suburban kind of. And like you just get like the kind of like the nosy neighbours or whatever, and all the neighbours would be like, oh, like kind of just typical like, oh, they've got a new car, we need a new car.
yeah.
Their house is shit, my house is better, kind of thing.
I used to hate
Like,
calling for you. No word of a lie, because your little cul-de-sac was like I'd walk up. And I used to get the most judgmental looks ever. Like it'd be me.
You say that, but I bet it didn't even happen.
Oh, I swear down. Me and Joe. Ask Joe. Like me and Joe walked up once, right, and it was like an old fella, right. Like fair play, he might have just been looking at me, and I might have just been an angry teenager. But I was like, "What are you looking at?"
No. But yeah, to be fair, yeah, like I guess we were teenagers. Because fair, if I see a teenager walking past my house now, I'll probably give him dirty looks, and I'm only 23.
Get off my lawn!
Like literally, I am a proper old man now. Like now I've like been moved into a house instead of a flat. Like I was saying, like the fireworks night, I was literally getting annoyed at the fireworks on fireworks night because I was just like, because I couldn't see them, and then like a couple like started hitting my windows and stuff, so I felt like a proper old man. I was like, oh, I'm too old for this now.
No, to be fair, if a firework hit my window, I'd be running out like with an umbrella.
But I mean, we were doing that like not even like. Couple of years ago, do you know what I mean? So like, you know.
Yeah, well, we never did anything to like. That's what I liked about our group. We never did anything that would cause or inflict.
Well, yeah, we never like. We had like a laugh at that, but we never actually harmed any or cost. Well, apart from a certain somebody, which we won't name,
yeah, but in your defence, as soon as whenever that certain someone did something, you'd storm off and scream and have a go at him.
And we'd all like call him out on that. So it was just a bit of. He was a wild card.
The fact that he kept on doing it was a shock to everyone, really.
Yeah, because I mean, when you're younger, you don't really know any better. But then we started growing up a bit, and it was a bit like, oh, we're like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We went on a massive tangent here. 20 minutes in, we've only done one question.
Yeah, and there's.
Right, move on to the next question, right? So, when was the first time we ever had like an alcoholic drink? I can remember.
I mean, because we're like British, or like because we're British. I was gonna say because we're English, but no, like the Scots are just as bad. The Irish, like Northern Irish, and the Welsh. It's obviously below 16, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, none of this like 21, 18. It's below 16. We know it is.
Yeah.
We know it is. So man would be around about 11, which when I say aloud is disgusting in a way, but It's like
Yeah,
common norm,
it just-
really, to some.
It's
families.
kind of just like a northern British culture, though, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, well, like mine, I think the first time I ever tasted alcohol was at like my dad's mate's barbecue, and my dad gave me like literally like a sip of Guinness,
Mm.
and I absolutely hated it. Because obviously you're a kid, you're gonna.
It's a
I say that,
rough
I still
shout.
don't like.
Yeah, Guinness is a
I still
rough
don't
one.
even. I still don't even like Guinness now. to be honest, but yeah, and I was like, absolutely hated it. But I think that was the first time I ever tasted alcohol. Was like must have been 11 or 12 at like a family barbecue or whatever. But I think the first time I had proper like had a full drink, I think I must have been like 13 and like a full. I don't know where it was. It must have been a field somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
it was somewhere.
Very classy.
It was
Very
somewhere.
classy.
Oh, it was just like around someone's house or something. I can't remember, to be honest. I just yeah. But yeah. It was-
Yeah, I mean,
I guess it's just a British culture, whatnot.
you could have left it
Well,
at
yeah,
a
well,
field somewhere,
yeah.
mate.
Well, even that sounds well. Like some of the stories my dad's told me, I won't go into it because he's got to be a guest on the podcast.
Yeah,
at some
he's got his
point.
own shout out.
He's got some stories in there that'll be hilarious. When he was a kid, so obviously he was like what would it be, 70s, 80s kid. Yeah, he would have been like 70s, 80s kid. So he had like mad time. all
Mad
that-
time
all
down
that
there.
culture.
Back then, when you could do whatever you want, really.
Yeah,
No rules back then.
literally.
Yeah, I think it really. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do strongly believe it's like a culture in England now that by the time we're 18, we're actually bored of drinking. Like, I love the atmosphere of a night out. The drink, I don't have a drink to get drunk anymore. Like, I'm only 23, 24 this month, and I'm not like, going crazy. I like to drink. I like to have a good drink with mates. I like to go out one night out because I like music. But when I was
Yeah.
like 15, it was like, yeah, let's get hammered. You know what I mean? Like,
you got like drunk for the sake of it, I guess, didn't you?
yeah, exactly.
I
And
think.
now it's like,
Because well,
I
back then
enjoy
you
it.
could get drunk off like a bottle though, couldn't you? Do you know what I mean? So
But saying that, I think I had when we were 16 and we were going to parties, I was drinking like a crate, easy, without even like
Yeah.
questioning. I was drinking a crate of like.
well, yeah,
cider
I
or
guess
something.
that leads on to our next question, which is the first time getting drunk that we can remember.
Yeah, I mean,
And then, like,
can
mine
we
was-
remember?
Yeah, so I think mine was definitely Jack's house party, which I think was about 16. Oh no, it would have been no. What year
It was
was
about
how old
year
were we?
10, I
Year
would say it was
10?
about year 10,
14.
yeah.
It would have been 14 or 15 then, wouldn't it? I think.
So
So yeah, I was either 14 or 15. And yeah, but I remember. So yeah, I think we just had like loads of cans of Fosters and whatever. But yeah, back then you kind of just drag loads or whatever. I think you didn't get hangovers either.
no,
which is
yeah.
amazing. And then that and just Smirnoff Ice as well.
I can really know you.
Because we weren't because like the like house owner, should I say, well, wasn't letting because it was like it was no, it must have been Jack's 15th birthday or something. 16 sounds more realistic, but I swear it must have been 14 or 15th.
No,
But yeah, and then they were like, obviously not allowed proper vodka, so we had to get like Smirnoff Ice. Well, that might be the second party, I can't remember.
I don't know. I remember
So,
being handed vodka jelly shots, which was an.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
I always thought they
vodka
were
shots and that,
disgusting. They didn't either have.
Yeah, they were horrible because they didn't even come up the plastic.
Yeah,
cups,
I
so
read
you pretty
these
just eating
break
plastic
ones.
trying to get
We
them
were
out.
running around like Vikings, just smashing them off our heads and that. Like
Yeah.
Oh, man, legit. There were good times and what. Yeah, I'd probably say mine's the same, really. Oh, like, no, to be fair, like, you say, I was drinking about 2 pints, not to say 2 pints, 2 cans of Carlin or like Stella. Like, because my family at these barbecues drink the rough lager. They don't drink
Yeah.
nice ones. And to be fair, back then, it wasn't very popular to drink Peroni or, I mean, Corona and that was about. And like, these drinks were about, but I think, well, where I grew up, it was all about just drinking Carlsberg, Carlin, Stella. And I drink about 2 or 3 of them. And I mean, at 11, 12, I was walking home stumbling, basically. You know what I mean? But yeah, the first proper sesh, as she says, probably that party. And I made a lot of crucial and bad decisions at them parties. So
Yeah, that's the first time I can remember getting properly drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that was probably the first time for a lot of people getting drunk because there was a lot of shit went down at them at some of them
I
parties.
mean, very illegal, really. I mean, if you don't even just class the drink, if a lot of things were going down, like not like drugs or anything. We weren't in that intense, but yeah, it was
not yet anyway.
No, it was definitely a messy few years in school. Like how, because we had the party to be on the Saturday. On the Sunday, I'd be up at 9 or 8. Sorry, going to rugby with Joe, and we both just came from a party, like eating a bacon sarnie with 3 hours sleep. Play the rugby game, then have a few. You'd have a little chandies at these things. I mean, at the rugby socials that you do every game, and then then you just get up on a Sunday, hang out with the lads, and then you're back at school at 9 on the Monday. But now, if I did what we did then, I wouldn't have even got out of bed for the next 3 days.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm at the age now where I've started getting 2-day hangovers, and it's just like I can't. Yeah, it's just horrible. Well, obviously not being out for properly being out for a few months now, so like lockdown again. But yeah, especially some places you go where it's all just dodgy fake vodka and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And the amount I'll mix my drinks and shit like that. It's just I just get hangovers that last like 1.5 days, 2 days now.
Oh, mate. I always had that motto with you. Is I was like, I can't throw up off drink. I just can't, and I wish I could, because Tactical Whitey saved the day, don't they? Really. And I'll get to a point, and I'll try and put my fingers down my throat and that, which makes I've got bad gag reflex. Not that anyone needs to know. And I'll do all this stuff, and I can't throw up. But then after lockdown, the first time, you came down, and obviously we thought we could still do it like we did before lockdown. Went out all day, all drunk. It was like 3, 4 in the morning. Everyone left, and I swear that was it. It was I was in the toilet for about. Well, it happened continuously. I can't even remember. It was the night where I fell asleep at the party, which never happens. And I was the guy who ended up with penises drawn on my forehead and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And that never happens. I've never been that guy.
To be honest, you actually never. You're always the one that does it. I don't think you've ever actually fallen asleep ever at a party.
I'll quote right.
Showing your age,
I know. I'll quote my mate Mua, right. He actually said he likes to drink with me because I can stay up with him and drink with him till daft in the morning. Yeah, after lockdown, I didn't have that much either. I laid on the bed and that was it, gone.
Yeah.
I woke up, someone had took my shirt off. I was half naked. I remember getting up, having a go at someone for making too much noise in my boxes, with a penis drawn on my forehead. I look like a rice state.
bringing your walking stick down the stairs. Turn this music off.
Oh, good times.
Oh, right. Yeah. So we'll move on then. What was the first time you remember getting served at a pub?
Oh, I mean, again, it's one of them with us, isn't it? There was so many crammed in them few years, but it's gonna be at a social. It was at probably a local social, about 16. Just really because they knew I was 16, but I had good family connections in some places, and it was just a norm though. There was none of this PC thing, and sometimes I would say, if a bartender looked at you and knew you were underage, but thought, yeah, you'll get away with it, they'll let you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I've been a bartender myself, and I see how damaging that is really to society. But I think back then it was a norm. It was the full norm just to let that happen. So
yeah,
I guess there it is.
Yeah, well, I think mine's the same. Is that a local social, working man's social club? So say not the nicest one, but obviously that's in place you get served. Really, couldn't go up a nice place.
If it's the one that I'm thinking of, I'm offended by what you're saying.
But so yeah, mine was in there. I think I was 16, 17 as well. And yeah, I remember because I was nervous as anything. So I was like, oh no, I don't want to Obviously, I don't know what the worst could have happened apart from saying get out, you're underage. Because everyone else before me got served and they were underage. And I went up to the bar, and I was like, oh, can I have a pint? It must be. I think they probably only had Foster's or can. I was like, oh, Foster's or whatever. Put our brick in it. And then he was like, oh, have you got any ID, mate? I was like, oh, no, sorry, mate, I forgot it. And he was like, oh, all right, mate. I was like, oh, is that?
Yes,
And then I think it was
easy.
just like, oh, remember it next time. But like, I think it's kind of just a thing. He probably knew I was underage but like, even at 16, 17, I probably looked about 12. So, yeah.
I mean, the really messed up thing about that is like, see, I've done my license course now. It's like my personal license, and like the rule is like, if they ask you, they have to be able to hold it to verify it. So
Yeah.
like you can't show them a picture or anything like that, and they can't revert that now. So if they asked you and you said, "Oh, I forgot it," they can't be like, "Oh, it's alright." Like they have to go through with it, because if someone overhears that they asked and they just won't let it go, then they're in even more trouble. And what makes that even worse for me is the other day I went to go and get some energy drinks for when I was at work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously with the masks, like I've been getting served in shops since I was about 16. Cause I had a beard in like 15, 16. So everyone would send me to the shops and that.
Yeah, they're a lot more lenient a few years ago, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Like
you just walk in, have a bit of bum fluff that you thought was amazing, but it wasn't. It's like, I thought, oh, I've got a beard. I didn't. I had a bit of fluff stuck to my face. But, oh yeah, so it was in a local supermarket, and this woman came on me, and obviously I've got this mask on, but what I thought was weird is I have a sleeve, you know what I mean, well, half a sleeve on my arm,
Yeah.
which was on show, and she looks at it and looks at me and goes, "Oh, have you got any ID?" I'm like, "Oh no, I didn't think I needed ID." She's like, "Yeah, you need to be 16 to have like energy drinks."
Yeah, you do.
And
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, I'm not being funny. I didn't have ID when I was 16. Like, what 16-year-olds walking around with like a provisional or something? I think you definitely weren't going to be allowed to walk around with your passport if you lived with your parents. You know what I mean?"
Yeah, exactly. 16.
But it does remind me of our mate Brandon getting rejected for a lottery ticket when he turned 16. Do you remember? I don't know. I'm sure you were there.
I vaguely remember it.
And he was like, thought he was being
remember,
clever.
yeah.
He was like, "I'm going to go and
I
get
vaguely remember
a lottery ticket." And then he went in, they were like, "Have you got any ID?" He was like, "What?" But
yeah, that was but obviously back then it was, a bit more lenient and whatnot. But like but now because it's challenge 25, isn't it?
In most places, yeah, it's still legally only 21, but
because I remember like it was weird because obviously when I was like 17, 18, I get like ID'd, and then like for like a year or two, like between like 19 and 20 or whatever, like 21, I just never got ID'd at all.
yeah.
Like for ages. I think probably because I was went to the same places or whatever. But then like again like I think it must have been like last year or something. They must have changed some rules or something. And then like I started getting ID'd everywhere. And I was just like, what?
Yeah, a lot of places went up to 25, like, and to be fair, what upsets me is it didn't change whether I got ID'd or not, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a big issue.
I went to Scotland, mate, like, and we found this off doing my personal license, and I drink in Scotland, like, as much as I can, because it's amazing. It's, some places do challenge 30, which,
really?
Yeah, because realistically, I don't know what the actual rule is, but realistically, it's due to like Scotland getting so much bad press for being such a drinking like capital. So they've made loads of strict rules. So like, if you were a personal license holder, you can only like be the personal license holder of one pub. Where like in England, you can be a several, and it's that things like that like they've changed. And obviously, as you can see with the coronavirus, how strict they are and how far they're willing to go, which is good in a way. They're just looking after the country. I'm not slating it, but yeah, in some places it's been said to be challenge 30 now, which I just think
it's mad that,
like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's, to be fair, I remember in some nightclubs or whatever, when you go to concerts, no matter like it says on like the ticket or like the website or whatever, no matter how old you are, you have to bring ID to prove your age, which is weird because obviously like I get it if obviously you have to compare the ticket to your ID. But obviously, you can buy tickets in someone else's name, whatever. Like, give them whatever. But yeah, I remember like some nightclubs. So like, no, like I was seeing like 50-year-old, 6-year-old people getting ID'd. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, they're clearly not under 18.
Well, to be fair, again, another thing. Not to keep talking about the course and that, but it does go into reference that it's not just about your age. It is about whether you're a legal citizen holder, like UK citizen. And stuff like that. There's like many law. I'm not going to go talk about it on the podcast, but there is. It's not, people do think it's just about age, which it mainly is. But obviously, there's many things, especially with like recent terror attacks and stuff like that. There's like lines, levels. Do you know what I mean to it?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but I mean, yeah. Sometimes you've got to think, use your common sense. But the one thing this generation keeps proving is there's no such thing as common sense, which is not like to start hurting on people, but it generally is like everything that's happening. It's just not helping anyone, like any situation.
Yeah. Well, I remember the mad stuff about. I even remember back in the day, we got Granger Games. Big shout out Granger Games, even though it's all closed down now.
Hashtag bankrupt.
That was the best gaming shop ever. But like, 'cause being used to go, didn't we get the £2 for £10 games, like Xbox 360 games back in the day?
Oh, mate, legit. I mean, you'd like it.
And then, but we'd have to be careful because we couldn't get the ones that were over 18.
Oh, they were really
like,
strict on games in there, though.
Mate, I remember before, right, going there, and my mum got ID'd for buying me a game. Obviously, like, I think it was probably an 18 game, whatever. But if your parents were there, can buy it for you or whatever.
Yeah.
But so obviously, she was like, oh, I don't know, all the time, like 40 odd at the time, and we had to drive all the way back home and come back. So I was like, this little kid, like, oh no, I really want this game, like, I want it now, kind of thing. So then, like, she had to drive all the way home and come back with her ID, like, just to get this game for me. But obviously, she was over 18 just to buy this game, but she had to prove ID. I was like, what? I remember that. That was metal.
Can we just give your mum a shout out? Because at 40, she was very good looking. Still is now.
Shout out. Yeah, so was. So was yours, I was going to say.
Oh, well, my mum was beautiful. Goddamn Grace.
Exactly. She's my second mother. She's my second mother. I'm a fake adopted son.
Well, that's a bit offensive.
She calls me. She calls me a second son. Really.
Yeah, sometimes she calls you a first. You know what I mean?
A better son.
It really comes out of you and Joe, really, before it even gets to me.
Yeah. Son she never had what?
I think even Crystal sometimes gets above me, and that's like.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, no, that's when I got kicked out. It was along them lines.
Yeah, Crystal moved in.
yeah, well. Oh, God. Good task.
I have to go somewhere. Someone has to look after him.
Hashtag in the bin.
In the bin.
Oh, right.
What? Is he still on the car then?
Yeah, I'm just netting Carlin now. I've had 2 since we started this, so.
I'm gonna have to pour myself some more vodka energy, I think.
Oh.
Bit going fruity.
Fruity.
I'm feeling it now though. This is probably the tipsiest drunkest I've been in a long time. So obviously where I am near Liverpool, they locked down. They went into tier 3 like before everyone else did. So I think they were locked down like a month before everyone else, and then before the full lockdown. So obviously there was a period, was it like August time, August September, where everyone was like places were open again at like 4 o'clock and stuff. That was all happy days, and then it got shut down again. But I think this is probably the most I've had to drink in a couple of months.
Which
repair my kidneys.
You're like a recovering addict, really, aren't you? Like.
No. Maybe in uni, like, you know.
I mean, when lockdown first took place, I was having a drink every night, every day. I was going through a crate about every day or two, and like Sarah was like,
I think everyone was.
Yeah, I know. Like they were saying, go to the shop for only essential stuff. And I'd get there and be
essential.
All the toilet rolls empty, the shelves are empty, you know. I guess I'll have to get a crate
of using the cardboard of the.
Yeah, I've got tins and that's a bit painful.
But yeah, no, I think every time, when lockdown first began, I think that's what everyone did because everyone was just on Zoom, like drinking, like every night pretty much, wasn't it?
No, I hid in my room.
That was like a stage.
I was getting platinum guns in Call of Duty. That's what I was doing.
Oh, you're a little nerdy sweat.
Just drinking by myself. No one was even on at that point either.
Yeah.
Oh man. But
I was playing Discord every now and then.
Yeah, that's when we started doing our YouTube and stuff. That all came into fruition. That was good.
Yeah, doing all that again. I guess that kept us pretty apart. Well, I was still working over lockdown, so obviously I could work.
Oh, here he goes, Mr. Key Worker.
Keep working from home on my computer. But yeah, so that was lucky for me, I guess. That kept me busy. Because if I wasn't working, I would have went crazy in that little apartment that I was in.
Oh yeah.
Like where I used to live, it was literally like this tiny one bed apartment, and I used to live next to the worst neighbors in the world. That like the police got calls on them like every like week or two, and nothing ever happened for them. They were just arguing and shouting. I think they were only like 17, 18 as well. This is like young couple. It was just it was horrible.
Yeah.
And then
I remember
thankfully I
saying
moved out. But, yeah.
insane.
So like, and it was over summer as well, which was like obviously over summer. Like, and you go. I used to go for like an hour or two walk like every day, like during my lunch or after work or whatever. Like during the summer, it'd be like so bad because you'd be there, you couldn't see anyone. I lived like miles away from everyone else, and then like you'd be out just like listening to music. And I'm like, I should be in a bee garden right now. You know what I mean?
Legit. It was a really nice summer as well, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah, I know what to think. That was like one of the best summers we probably ever had, and then it was like locked away.
I looked in a little box.
Yeah,
I was loving it. I
'Cause,
got a
like-
fucking like massive pool. I was just sat in it.
Well, yeah, it's not like I didn't have a back garden then.
Oh, mate.
Which like if I had a back garden, it would have been happy days. But obviously, then I moved into this house, and now I moved into this house. Was it probably just 2 months ago now? And obviously that's when summer ended. So
You should have moved in. Like, you should have moved up north for a bit. And just did your stuff from here.
well, yeah, because I was tempted to because obviously it was all work from home. But then obviously all the travel restrictions and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was
I'd have
and then obviously
I'd have snuck you up.
I know, but I had like my work computer and that, so I was like, I don't really want to move that.
Ah, mate, just wrap it in
Like,
bubble
so
wrap.
that's
You'd have been fine. You'd make excuses.
Happy days.
You could have been. I'd have had you right in my spare room, just fucking dosed up with alcohol and energy drinks. That's what I'd have done. Fuck Emily's.
Happy days. Would have been good.
I wouldn't even
looking
let
back at
Emily
it-
see you. I'd be like, no, he's in lockdown. Can't see you.
Looking back at it, that would have been a good idea. That's what I should have done. Just I think I saw was it like I saw someone on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. Like yeah, when lockdown first happened, these like bunch of guys just like rented a house together and just lived in there for like a couple months. And I was like, that would have been mint.
That actually would have been funny. Like getting a roll-on contract so you didn't have to stay in there as well.
Yeah, that would have been
Ugh, good.
mint. Getting tired there.
It's lager, man. It's lager. It gets you in that like cozy, warm state.
Get the energy drink out. You know.
Oh man, no, that takes me to places I can't return.
Get the TVR out. Oh wait, no TVE. We can't say
TVE, yeah.
We can't say the bull of the red.
Whoa!
Bull of the
He's pushing his luck.
That's yeah. The signature drink of the What's on Draft podcast has got to be a TVR. Which yeah, when lockdown's over and if we do this podcast in person or whatever, obviously we're all doing it online now. You probably tell with the audio quality, but you know we're improving.
Moving up.
Yeah, and then so yeah, we'll have to do a TVR every time we
TVE.
TVE even. If you don't know what it is, it's a tequila vodka energy. And honestly, it's not, obviously you think vodka energy like not that bad.
Double. It's
If
a
you had
double vodka
it-
energy.
Yeah, double vodka energy, and then like have a single or double tequila. But for some reason, that extra shot of tequila, it sends you sideways.
I love in that
It's
description
not
you
that
go, oh, I know you think of like vodka energy, it's not that bad, right? But it's actually being labelled to be just as bad on your heart as cocaine, right?
Yeah, that's not illegal, though, is it? You know.
It's like you just went, well, cocaine, it's not that bad. You wouldn't think, but you shot a shot in there. You know what I mean?
I might as well just start doing that then instead of
Whoa!
you know.
It's our 10th episode at least. Jesus.
Yeah, let's just go downhill and then we'll.
Instead of
That'll
what's on
make-
draft,
that'll
what's
make-
online. What we
What's on crack?
yeah, what we injecting?
What's in the pipeline? Putting them in the cakes.
Oh Jesus! Oh,
Speaking of lines,
wow.
when was a good segue of that? Do you remember the first time you ever went clubbing?
Oh, clubbing. Yeah, well, probably.
Like as in nightclubbing, not like go around clubbing some
What?
pubs.
What? You think I was just sat here thinking, oh, you mean seal clubbing? What?
Clubbing some pigeons or some shit.
Just getting the bitty pigeons out of the way.
Like a cave.
Hey, there's nothing scarier than a Hartlepoolian pigeon. I wouldn't dare go clubbing. Or Poolian. I say puddling, because all the time.
Brilliant.
First time clubbing was probably a time when we snuck into a bar in Billingham when I was 16. And I was with my dad and like a couple of mates, and he told me, like, he bought me loads of drinks. He was like, I'll sort you out. So, like, he got me in, he got me served and stuff, and it was a good crack. And then he was with one of the footy lads that he played with when he was younger. Like, so, must have been about going on 50, both of them.
Yeah.
And this guy goes, well, I want to go on a night out. I'm like, whoa, well, we can't. He's like, yeah, you can, you with me. My dad leaves me with this guy, which to this day could have been anyone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was 16. It could have been any random guy, but he was. And then
It literally was.
next thing we're in a taxi going to Stockton, which if anyone knows as a night out it's a very different kind of night out. So when you say clubbing, I don't know what you entail when you go to Stockton.
Yeah, it's more like bar clubbing in it rather than night clubbing.
Yeah, well, yeah. We ended up in this place. I think it's closed now. Probably for many reasons. Because we went to the well-known place in Stockton, the nightclub in Stockton. It was like closing, so it was like, oh, if you go down the road, there's a nice nightclub down there. So I went. Yeah, it was in a daft nightclub that was probably closed down for many reasons.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, yeah, mine. But yeah, I think I mentioned before, obviously getting served at pubs and that. But I think the first time I went proper clubbing, it was actually a week before I turned 18. So for some reason, went to a certain nightclub in Middlesbrough. Because beforehand we were all at, like, I think it was a house party we were at, and like everyone else was 18 at this time, and I think it was only me and like a couple of other people that weren't 18. So I was born like in April, and everyone else was born like earlier than that. So like in our friendship group, I was kind of like a late bloomer, I guess, in like when I was born. And then so then everyone was going out to like this club in Borough, and then so I was like, oh, I can't, like, I've got, obviously. And they're like, oh no, it's fine, just use someone's ID. So they were like, no one else looked like me at all. But then I think Jack just turned 18 at the time as well. So I was like walking home. I think me and this other lad were walking. I can't remember who it was now, like, for the life of me. And everyone else was in the, like, went to Tesco then in the car. But we walking past, and then they came back in the car. And they're like, oh wait. I was like, oh fuck it, why not? Like, might as well. Just try it. First time I put a shit myself. First time I ever like went out and bought a night out. So then we got to this place, and then my mate uses his ID, gets in, and then he comes out, hands me his ID, like, the standard tactic. And then, like, obviously, Jack and me, right? We look literally nothing alike.
No.
Obviously, the photos are black. The photos are black and white, but for one, I've got brown hair and he's got blonde hair.
Yeah, well, he's got
Like,
receding hair. That's a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
Jack.
Completely different. Like, well, I'd say they're not completely different face shapes, but we don't look that
No,
similar.
yeah, I don't think you look a lot at all. Like,
But so obviously, hopefully, I guess the bouncer was probably just like, yeah, whatever, because everyone just did it back then as well.
Yeah.
Like, just if it was if it was a proper ID, I just don't think they cared. They were just like, oh,
they
whatever.
didn't even like pick it up really sometimes.
Yeah, because obviously you're always like, oh, like having to try and revise the date of birth and his name and all that. So I was like in my head, like, because there was like quite a queue. So it was like, I think it was a Saturday night. So it was a bit of a queue. It wasn't like that long, but it was like 10-15 minutes. But it was like the longest 10-15 minutes of my life. Like waiting there, like, oh my god, like I'm trying to revise this driver license or whatever. And then he just gave me a hand, like a thing in and put a wristband on me. I was like, oh, what? And then obviously, yeah, that was my first time at like a nightclub. I didn't know what to expect at all. Like, didn't have a kind of a clue what they were like. And we just went in, and it was like, yeah, it was an experience, I guess. I think when I first went, because I was like still like 17, a bit like young and shy. I kind of didn't. I was just a bit like, this is busy. This like just and then getting a drink was just a nightmare. It took absolutely years to get served.
You're sober when you go on a night out, really, aren't you? To be honest.
Yeah, and then well, yeah, back then I think it was, and then yeah, after that, I think it must have been a week or two before my 18th. But yeah, for some reason I was like, oh, I'd go before my 18th for some reason. I don't know why I could wait a week, but I just went.
You waited quite a while. I mean, cause I was one of the oldest now of our group, and it was fun because the people I worked with would take me out and that. I made mates, made mates in my workplace and that. But
Yeah.
like not going out with yous was quite brutal, and obviously Joe doesn't drink, and you were like obviously underage, so it was like I remember when you turned 18, it was like the best night of my life. Like it was a rough one. it was better than my 18th. That's like how brutal it was.
I think I've still got some like vivid memories of my 18th because I remember. Is that the night where before the club started, there was like some show on or something, and then like this like lass and her parents. I don't know if it was like a theatre show or something like just a venue or whatever before the nightclub. And that must have just finished at like 11. The club opened at 11. 'Cause obviously back then yeah, I think we just went in like 11 o'clock. Oh, like instead of
No,
going to pub farm, we
it
went
was
in
10
straight
o'clock
there.
back then. It was 10 o'clock.
I was at 10 o'clock. That's like don't finish pre-drinks till like 12, 1
Yeah,
o'clock.
well, I love going to the nightclub at 10 o'clock, and then when I started drinking with you, you were like, "Oh, we get there about 12, half 12." I was like, "What? What are you doing?"
Yeah, because it was always dead. It didn't get busy till like after it, and there's no point going before that.
It's good. I had such a strict I have a thing with time and that. Like I'd be in Billingham drinking, and then like it'd be like, right, let's go to Borough, and I'd be like, all right, and then it'll get to 12, and if we're not in that taxi by 12, I'm going home. Like I'm just like, if it's past 12, I'm not in the mood anymore. Like it's a waste of money, which I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like because I was always that guy who started drinking at 10, and then left at 1 or 2. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually because I was making a bad decision in my life, but
Standard.
legit.
Absolutely.
Right. Oh no. So I've just seen the next question,
Oh,
and
no.
I feel like it's good for me to ask this one, right? So, Josh, when was the first time you had intercourse or losing your virginity? I love that you wrote that and you wrote intercourse. Like anyone else would have put, when's the first time you just lost your virginity? You put intercourse to show you how professional and profound.
Exactly. This is a professional podcast I'll have now. we have to be good up. We have to bleep out all the swearing, all the naughty comments.
So, sorry, I'll read you say that. I'll say it again, right? So, Joshua, when was the first time you had intercourse?
Oh, what's the proper word? Is it fellatio?
No, not at all. Not at all. Did you just say that on the podcast? I need to check what that actually is, but
is that the proper word?
Oh,
Like the proper posh word?
Yeah, you've definitely done fellatio, to be fair.
Oh no! What's that? What is it? No.
The act of orally pleasing the male genitalia.
Fallacy? No, I've spelled it. I don't know.
You've just said on our podcast, which it's staying in, by the way. You like the act of orally pleasing the male genitalia.
Right. Well, I didn't mean that.
Whatever.
I meant.
And,
No. What's like the proper posh word for it? What's it called?
What? I don't know.
I can't remember the proper
It's
posh.
definitely not fellatio.
I can't remember.
Can I just say,
I'm
right,
literally gonna Google.
shout out to Urban Dictionary by putting during pre-biblical times, a farmer might force a thief to perform fellatio to him had he found said thief trying to steal goods from him. So people before the Bible, like in them times, a farmer has the right to force a thief to perform fellatio. Oh my!
What the fuck?
Urban Dictionary's done me in. That's it now. I'm done. Right.
So yeah, I found it. It's coitus. That's it. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I know you. Yeah.
Coitus. That's it.
Oh my
Posh-
god!
so,
What
yeah.
is this? Sexuality resources. How to give a
wait.
mind-blowing. This
That's getting bookmarked.
is
Isn't
that
it?
the little guy
Bookmarked,
provided.
Just send that to Sarah. It's like, oh look at this. This is an interesting article.
Oh, mate, tip is
Sliding or whatever.
this is how you learn to give a mind-blown. Fellatio is
I'm
not my.
coitus.
You know what? For shout out to all men out there, how quick is a woman to say no when you mention the word "give me a blowjob"? You know what I mean? The words. You ask the question. So if you turn around now and say, "Give me fellatio," game changer. You know what I mean?
Or should we go up to the I was trying to think of a posh way for bedroom. Shall we go up to the I don't even know. Shall we go up to the bedroom and have some coitus? God. I was trying to think of like a posh word for bedroom, and I couldn't even think of it.
It's a bad quote to say, but I was swallowing at that time. It made me fucking gag.
Wait, what?
Nah, that is just it for me. Fellatio.
Right, so your question was, what was the first time I had
coitus.
intercourse? Like, lost my coitus.
You lost your coitus.
Lost my coitus inity.
When did you lose your coitus? So yeah.
Right, this is gonna make me sound like a proper Gen Zer instead of a millennial.
Or a player.
But I actually lost mine from Tinder.
Oh!
Unfortunately, yeah. I was
it
a late
Tinder or
bloomer,
Hot or
so
Not? Because I was more of the Hot or Not
No,
generation.
I met I think a couple of lasses from Hot or Not. Like I think when I was 15, 16 or whatever. Met some lasses from Hot or Not. Which was I think that was the thing. What did that turn into?
I think it's still a thing.
Because that was on Facebook, and then I think I can't remember if someone bought it out. I don't know. I've not used it. God knows how long years. But yeah. So it was. I met like a couple lasses off that or whatever. You know, getting my graft on when I was 15, 16. Because I think that was like I think that must be what Tinder based their app off. Because on that you used to. It wasn't swiping because it was on like the browser. I think we had to press like
an X
like
or
or not like.
really, basically.
Yeah. So that was pretty much the first Tinder.
Well,
Tinder
saying
was
that,
obviously,
you've seen.
obviously there was obviously like plenty of efficient dating sites and whatnot,
Yeah,
Match.com and all that.
So,
But this was the first kind of like casual like you know thing.
but that all started from Mark Zuckerberg. If you ever watched Social Network, just shout out to that. He actually created a rate the women in his is it university or college? Is it college?
Well, yeah, isn't that the reason that he created Facebook was to just get laid?
Well, he did that
So
as a
I
joke.
thought that was
Well, it makes it out. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but he made it out to him like he was just joking, like he was winding the women up by making that up just to like get back at his ex or something. I don't know the ins and outs, but yeah, he made that, and I think
I'm not sorting all
it
that.
was like like rate my poo. No. That's basically what it was. Out of like out of 10, and you got to rate the women in his college. Is it college?
I think it would have been college.
Yeah.
Uni. Would it have been Harvard?
Just something like that, Harvard
or MIT, one of the
MIT.
American ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, as you were saying.
So it was from Tinder. So obviously Hot or Not. I met her with a couple of lasses, but nothing ever fully went through. She was fully went into it. But yeah, the first time I put I was 17, so I think I was the oldest like in our friendship group to lose it.
Yeah, you were.
I was 17.
I think you were the last one.
You know, it was just standard in my bedroom with. Well, we know because it wasn't just like a hookup. We were dating going out with her for a couple of months, I think. First point, and she was 16, I think, at the time.
Oh no, we got a Jimmy.
That one, yeah, different. Getting done. So yeah, that was not much of a story really, apart from just the awkward first sexual encounter it was really. I can't really remember it because it was probably that bad.
This is where I just whisper, I remember it.
I remember going out afterwards and meeting all the yous at the Astro.
Oh god.
I think, yeah, and I think because I was the last in the group, so everyone was like pretty buzzing.
Yeah. So some people in our group found it more essential than the rest of us. Me, I was the one before.
Yeah. So yeah, go on. What's your story then? I really don't, but for the wonderful listeners.
So I was 13. You know, right age. I think that's.
And his uncle was 50.
What?
Can we not?
Can we? God, I know I was born and raised Catholic. Wow. Different shout out in general. 13 with my first love, first everything. This is, when most people talk about me, they don't talk about me as the cheesy romantic type. Some might, but most won't. And this is going to be the cheesiest thing that I've ever said. But yes, first person I've ever been with, and I'm with her now, which I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, 13. Then just I don't know why it was 13. I was raised in quite a sexual. That sounds wrong. I was.
Put it right. We all know about your uncle, right? It's okay.
It was like.
You're gonna say it raising
Yeah.
a sexual atmosphere in the household. Then
That's why I realised I'm gonna stop myself. No,
we're not going down that.
I'm sweating now. You know, I'm actually under pressure. No, it was like,
Is there a story to it? Did you put like candles and rose petals on the bed and that?
there was none of that. It was that you know what a lot of people would relate to. The first time it didn't go in. Did it go in? Was it in the hole? Was it in the bed?
It was in. I don't know. I was just doing the bed sheets.
Yeah.
On
I mean, at that age, I didn't really know what an erection was, so I was doing well. No, I can't just leave what I said earlier like that, you know. Like, I'm going to say, don't move on from that. I'm going to say, it was just very normal for the people in my family who were talking about sex. I'm the youngest out of a lot of cousins. Like, we have a massive family on both sides.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were all going through these sexual things. And it was not like I was involved in any of them, but...
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I was quite... I was in like a... Yeah. Well, I didn't really speak to any of my cousins or whatnot. And we had, it was like reserved in my household, I guess we'd say.
Yeah, like very... Well, this is the weird thing, which, like, my lovely partner, she's quite a Catholic girl, would you say? She's like very holds herself back. Yeah, she's very like I can't think of the word. Naive is definitely one of them, but
I was gonna say
it's crazy.
Frigid, but you know.
You what?
I was gonna say frigid, but
no, yeah.
that's
She is a huge fridge. Like that's what I call her. My little fridge. That's what I call her. She is frigid, but like obviously it was right for her to be frigid back when we were 13. Though. Like,
oh yeah, obviously.
So how it came about, I don't know. Maybe it was just a daft joke. You know. Not that you need to go into detail, like, but
yeah, I could imagine it.
Loads of people said to me like, "What, like 13?"
You must have been like that. What? That's young. That
I know,
isn't it?
but I tell you what, I
That
was
is
the
young.
cockiest 13-year-old in our school.
Yeah, but I bet no one fucking believed you though. That's why.
No one believed me, but when Sarah said it, yeah, they believed her. Like when you get a girl, honestly, I remember the feeling when you're in school. And a girl says, "Oh yeah, we've done this," right? You feel the like, oh yeah, the ego just flies out of you, like, yeah. You look at me, I'm boshing it. You know what I mean? And bearing in mind, I was like 5'1" when I was 13, if not 5'4".
5'1". That's big for 13.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's like me like 3'1".
No, because I didn't grow after that.
Yeah.
I hit 5'5" when I was in year 9, and I stayed 5'5" till I was 21. And now I'm 5.
And now you're shrinking. It's how it's shrinking.
I'm 5'7" now, but I definitely can see me going shrinking. Like, you know, I'll never be 6 foot basically. That's upsetting. But shout out to Sarah, by the way, if she's ever watching this. I've just ruined her reputation, and to your lovely ex, if she ever.
To my Tinder
swipe.
Tinder swipe. Yeah.
You change your life with one swipe. You know it's true.
Oh God.
You perform fellatio.
Yeah, that was. You perform fellatio, me, so I say. Well, that was a bad time.
Oh, bad time.
Well, yeah, because that's when I was a shy little boy when I was 17.
Yeah.
And then so we got because obviously I was like the last person to lose it in the group. I was like up until I turned 18, I was like this pot of shy lad. And then like as soon as I turned 18 and started drinking, I was I think the drink just helped, and I was just
Dutch courage.
Kind of came out my bubble and just got all the Dutch courage and was like, fuck it.
I honestly didn't know you said bubble there. I thought you were going to say something else. And then you did change, and we were all shocked by it. Like I remember for like, especially when we were doing YouTube after school and that, like we were all 16. For that year or two, like I was trying to get you to like. You were so engrossed with games and stuff, which is obviously good because that's what you do now. But like a girl would message you that you like, and I'm like, oh yeah, what you gonna? I'll try and help you out. Like I'd say, oh, what you messaging her and stuff, and you're like, yeah, I'll do it, right? And then an hour later, I'm like, oh, what did she say? And you're like, oh, I didn't send it. I just forgot. And you're like, what?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I remember that because we in your bedroom. Remember, like, yeah, when we first started doing. I think how old were we? Was this like year 10 or year 11 or
Something
whatever?
like that, yeah.
And then we first like started doing YouTube, whatever. And then, 2013. Yeah, it would have been 2013, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously his message like just I think that was it, wasn't it? Yeah, it was supposed to be texting or Facebook messaging or whatever. Like I got girls and whatever. But like I was like I think I'd like write the reply out and just forget to hit send or whatever. But I was kind of just like I just like wasn't that harsh really.
Yeah, I mean this was this.
Then,
I remember this
but
being a girl.
because I think because I was obviously like sort of like quite shy. Because I remember like even meeting girls, I'll be like that shy that I wouldn't even like want to talk to them or even like kiss them or like hug them or anything. I was like just shy as anything really.
I remember, right?
I was so
one of my parties, right? The barbecue, and
Oh
a
no,
girl
I
you were
remember
chatting,
this. This hurts me. This actually hurts me. How I don't know how shy I was. Really.
Yeah, mate,
It actually hurts me.
I got this girl with the power, and to be fair, rightfully so. For a couple of years, I was known as one of the best wingmen. Yeah, whatever. And I earned that right. So like, this comes to a point where you like this girl. It was one of the new ones. Like, you would have probably just been off it anyway. But I was like, I'm gonna get her. She was alright. She was not interested, but I was like, we've got this. And I finally convinced her to come to this barbecue, and she's like, oh, alright, okay. I'll come down. She comes down, you're outside in the back garden, like, with the lads and that. And then I'm like, are you going to go out and that? I've already been out, I've tried to speak to him, but he doesn't seem like he wants to speak to me. I'm like, oh, alright. I think he does, I think he's just nervous. She was like, oh, go and get him to come in here then. So I was like, I'll go and get you. And then you just didn't want to go in. I was like, what?
I remember this, right? Because we went inside, right? And then Jack, I think it was, or Cal, got some ice from out of your freezer,
fridge
right?
ice,
and threw it on the ground and said, "Now the ice is broken," and that just made it 10 times worse. And we were just looking at each other's ice on the ground, and I was just like, "Oh my god, like just kill me now." But like, I don't get it. Was like it must just been like a switch from when I turned like 17 or 18. Like it was just like a switch, and then I was just like, yeah.
Just game over.
Yeah, I was just like on it.
Yeah.
From when I turned 18.
I mean,
obviously, it must have definitely been the drink, but then, yeah, it was just like I think it's such a like a confidence booster kind of thing. And then I just from there, even like obviously when I wasn't drinking when I turned 18, though, it was kind of just like yeah, you must. I think it was just like a switch that was just like yeah. After that, I can actually talk to people kind of thing. Actually, yeah.
Well, this is my problem, right? And I don't know if it was like a heavy ego, but mine was the opposite. Like, I don't know if it was from being 13 and losing it so early, but I always had this thing in my head where I didn't care what other people thought. That's how I was raised anyway. So I'll dance like an idiot, which you've seen many of the time. I'd be like dancing, I'd go on the top of the stage by myself in front of like hundreds of people and just start dancing.
We've got to add some of these to the Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
follow the Twitter. We'll post some of them.
Yeah. So like I'd do any of that, and then I don't know if like say like an ego boost from being like losing at 13. That I just had this thing where if I talked to a woman, it would have to come out like patter. Like I'd have to be trying to charm her. Whether I was gonna sleep with her or get with her or go out with her, it had to be like flirting. So even when I was with girlfriends, like I'd still talk to my friends who were girls, like flirting, but it wouldn't even mean anything. Like, and it was just constant.
Yeah,
like
no,
that,
I know what I mean. It's just kind of just like a bit like good crack, I guess. Isn't it?
Yeah. But obviously, if I was single, that good crack, they could take it the wrong way or the right way, and it would go in my way. But we won't go into that too much. But yeah, like I was very opposite. I'm too overconfident because now I'm at the age I'm at now, and it doesn't do me any favors. I went from being like I used to flirt with my bosses wherever I worked that were female, obviously, and I'd like do it, but like it was cute because I was the 17, 18, 19-year-old, you know, the young lads. But now that I'm like 23, going on 24, it's like, oh, there's that old guy.
you get Charles getting involved.
I've got this beard going out, like I'm like a bit on spring watch, and I'm just like,
You have a meeting with HR, you start graphing the HR.
I would, 100%. 100%.
Like, well, get me out
So,
of this.
what does HR mean? What about your number? No, like, generally. And to be fair, it's why me and my girlfriend now broke up, because I just couldn't control myself. I enjoy it. I enjoy the thrill of just being...
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. Like, obviously back there when I was, like, so single when I was, like, 18 at uni or whatever. So, I mean, there's so many stories about that we could do a full
that's
podcast episode on.
That's for next
uni.
time.
I think I think we will do a full podcast episode.
We've just done a full podcast about fellatio. I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but yeah, the stories about that, but yeah, some crazy shit.
This is the What's on Draft podcast.
I knocked the mic off.
Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's bad.
What's happened?
I've run out of energy drink, so I topped up my I've got like a quarter of a vodka energy left, so I topped up with more vodka with no energy, and it's just like puts loads of airs on my chest, shall we say? Put a warm me up, that did.
And there's me, old man Jenkins, sticking to the can of cow.
That's how that was. And it's on my microphone. I'm in me, yeah.
That's how it's got to be.
Fruity that is. Oof.
Yeah, well, whew. I remember you coming to the last house party that we had, which was just after lockdown, so we were breaking rules. Please don't catch me. And we asked you to go and get us some. We were.
When?
You weren't allowed that many people in one house, and we had a few people.
No, I think there was only probably 7.
Yeah, you're not allowed that, but alright, but you know what? Let's say there was only 3, alright? and Boris can't hurt us. Bojo, right? So, yeah, we asked you to go and get some vodka, and you came back with this paint stripper that looked like really just... I don't think... like vodka is a clear spirit, but I don't think anything should be as clear as what you brought back.
I thought you were going to say it was like cloudy or something, like piss or something.
Oh, no.
When was...
Your piss is not just cloudy, mate, is it?
Oh, yeah, because I probably went to... Would it have been like the Swan Garage or some shit? No, because that wasn't me. If you think...
It was you and Emily?
No, it wasn't. It was Emily and Hannah. I didn't go. I came here.
No, they brought a crate. That was a different time.
I wouldn't have went by myself to some shops. I would have been with...
You would have. I think you went with Emily. I think you got it from a borough local.
Oh, is it something we got beforehand? Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got it before the party.
Oh no, I think because
you brought it in a little bag or something.
Yeah.
And you gave me it while I was at work.
I think because Emily, like the closest corner shop's like a co-op, so obviously that's quite expensive. So I think like the cheapest thing was like this part of like dodgy paint strip with vodka. Like back
100%. I was sure you just bought a bottle of bleach.
Bought it in there.
Well, I walked in because I finished work. Like I was at work, and you just came to the pub to see us and that, and then you just went back to mine with my partner and that, and you were already smashed by the time I got there. And so I walked through the door, and you just went like cheers, and then put this bottle. Like you proceed to put the full bottle down my throat.
Oh, wait, is that
like it must have had like a quadruple shot of bleach or whatever it was that you put.
Why not, man? I did.
It definitely got me a bit funky.
Yeah, that was
that was the night I passed out asleep. Actually, so it probably was poison.
Yeah, because I don't know why I still buy cheap vodka now. Obviously, back in uni, you couldn't afford it. Got to get the cheap vodka. But now I'm obviously making money. I'm still like,
he's making the money. He's making that money.
It's. I don't think about it when I'm buying it, but it's so worthwhile getting the proper vodka than the shit. Obviously, not Grey Goose. Or whatever.
It's a game changer.
Getting the proper vodka and the proper like a mixer rather than the cheap stuff. It's so much. It's a game changer. But for some reason, I'm still like, nah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because I'm from the streets or what. I love council pop, not like council water. But...
skimp out on pre-drinks or whatever. I'd only spend get cheapest vodka, cheapest energy for pre-drinks. But I go to a club and have to fork out like £6-7 for one double in some for like the proper shit. So
that's what I mean. I remember we used to go on night out when we were 18. Everyone was using the legal vodka and stuff. And then when I went to Creamfields for the festival, not that anyone needs to know doesn't know what Creamfields is, but I went, and then they only serve Smirnoff and is it Red Bull? Yeah, it was Red Bull.
Yeah.
So every drink
Bull Red,
was
it's
like
Bull Red.
oh, sugar. Well, we're saying Smirnoff, so like
Yeah, but you know,
can we not say Smirnoff?
it's Moth Smirnoff. I don't know.
We've done fucked up.
Fucked up
The fucking Moscow water, right? So like that and the Bull of the Red. So every drink was like £9 for a single.
Yeah.
It was like no.
Oh yeah, I've been to places where it's been like, I think the most I've spent is like maybe £10 for a double. In it's because
but you're in a city now.
Because
Well, you're
then they're like, oh yeah, because it's probably, because I think it must have been Monster. It would have been like Monster, and then proper like, it probably was like, they probably advertised it as Grey Goose, but it probably wasn't. And I was, that's what I think. That's probably the most I've ever spent for.
Oh, to be fair, I remember we went to Newcastle just before lockdown, and we both love pineapple. Me and my lass. So like we went and it was like, oh yeah, we do pineapple vodka and energy. So I was like, oh, that looks amazing. Yeah. So I was like giving it all. I've took her away for the night. Yeah, splashed the cash, done 2 doubles, thinking I was mint. She was like, oh yeah, it's like £30. I was like, what?
Oh.
And she was like, well, it is. She went, it's a rock vodka. I went, what now?
I want the
She'd already poured it, so I'd already like transaction was complete. I was like, oh. So like Sarah was like drinking it, and I was like, you better sip that now. You better calm down. Like we're going home. We're not even going back to the hotel. We can't afford that now. You know what I mean? Yeah, so yeah, it's crazy what. But like say we're. In some terms, we're like country boys, really, aren't we? We're not like country, but we're definitely not city boys.
Yeah, exactly, because we're like, it's kind of just like, I guess it's a small town, isn't it, really? Where we're from. Obviously, and then there's big towns nearby, and obviously...
Yeah, so we Billingham quick history lesson, was originally a farming village.
Yeah.
And it's still surrounded by a lot of farms, like a lot of places, but... Like, Borough is probably the closest town. Or, well, Hartlepool, both the same.
Yeah. I'll say, don't go Hartlepool, just don't even mention it. That's like a party side.
But, oh, God, you're calling some claims there. But obviously, Borough is it big enough for a city? Is it something?
No,
I got told that it could be a city, but it just hasn't got a cathedral.
Yeah, I got told, like, yeah, I've always been told that, yeah, it could be a city. Because there is cities that are smaller than Middlesbrough, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's just certain.
It's got something to do with the cathedral.
Yeah,
or something.
I think everyone says, but I think that's just an olden day rule. Like back in the day, I had to. But I think nowadays it's just there's lots of different criteria why it can't. It's probably just because it's too rough. But it's not like nah.
Yeah,
if that's a city, nah, it's not happening. Kind of thing. But,
yeah, like I bet it's just like right, they're cities, they're towns, and that's just the way it's gonna stay forever. Like nothing's gonna be. Even though things are growing, like we're getting loads of housing done around us and stuff, I think the country's never going to turn around and say, "Oh, Borough's a city."
Yeah, I don't think they'd ever change.
Like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like to be fair, like I don't know, it's crazy, like how it's looked at. I think they've just got the cities already named, and it'll never change. That's just the way.
Yeah. Well, I guess cities have been cities for hundreds of thousands of years, haven't they?
Hundreds of thousands of years. You're currently playing Valhalla at this moment in time. And even then the names weren't the same. And you're saying hundreds of thousands of years. I meant
hundreds or thousands, not hundreds of thousands. Fucking dinosaurs name in the city.
Fucking T-Rex named it London.
So yeah, we were saying about nights out and that. So obviously... Our first night out together, coming up, sticking with the first time theme. So from what I remember from our first night out together, was at AVM. We used to be called Animals versus Machines.
Yeah, abbreviated very well.
So it was like I class it as like a pop punk rock club, wasn't it?
I'd say more punk rock than pop. I think AVM and Hulk were very much against playing anything that wasn't quite heavy.
No, that's what I mean. Not pop. I meant pop punk and rock.
It was. I know what you mean. Like pop punk is what I started off on.
Yeah, like Blink-182.
And then I got dragged out to it. Yeah. I got dragged out to AVM, and it was just like they played the odd like Green Day song. I think Green Day is probably the. Oh, I guess they would play Blink-182 now and then as well.
Yeah. So that was like,
But yeah,
I think that's the first time we ever. No, well, obviously, apart from my birthday, my 18 and that, I think the first time we went out just us two was AVM and that, and then so I think that used to be on a Saturday night.
AVM Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday used to be on a Saturday night, and then that closed down. It wasn't.
Due to illegal vodka. Speaking of the man.
Yeah. Well, the whole place did for a while, didn't it? The whole.
Well, it was because the whole. I don't think it was. Obviously, when you say AVM and Hulk, and they're just people who rent out for the night, isn't it? So, yeah. I think it was the actual building that was getting supplied.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That was.
Yeah. But then
it was the upsetting times when that closed.
Yeah, because that was like there was that on a Saturday, and then. But I think it was only open for a couple of months while we were 18, or while I was 18 anyway. So we used to do that.
It seemed like a long time for me. Like, I remember I got took out on my 18th, and that's the first place, because obviously being a chef and that, like, a lot of chefs will like all type of music, but you'll either get like an EDM or you'll get like a full blown heavy rocker.
Yeah.
And the chefs I was working with at the time were a bit more rock, so they're like on my 18th were like, we'll take it out. And I like all kind of music, so that's where I went.
Yeah.
And obviously me and you share similar like music tastes, so when before you were 18, I was like, you need to come to this place, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So chilled out. It was like, it wasn't even a nightclub really. It was a nightclub obviously, but
yeah, like, it was really good.
You sit down and just chill.
Yeah, it was a good vibe because it was kind of like a big like it was a nightclub, but it was kind of like had like a nice bar vibe to it as well, which was good because then obviously
everyone was friendly.
Yeah, exactly. You just everyone else you never get any dickheads in there, and you just everyone would be friendly. You just like meet. You'd obviously like talk to people, meet people not while you were there, and then you'd always see them like the same week and whatnot. So yeah, that was the thing we always used to go to, and then I think like a couple months later that closed down, I think, and then from then on we went to Hulk, which was another like kind of like
same venue.
Like, same venue. Was that another rock can night on a Monday night, which is very.
Remember how we found that out?
Yeah, it was a very strange. Monday is a very strange time for a night out, but obviously because it's kind of a student town, I guess you'd say in Middlesbrough. So also they had venues on every night. So yeah, we were at the local, I guess the Kings where you used to work. When we were 18.
Yeah.
So I think I must have just turned 18 as well. It was probably a couple months after I was 18. I think was it possibly like June, July or something like that. Out on a Monday.
Yeah.
Because I was working at a pub at the time, but a different one, just like as a shitty pot washer and whatnot. So I think I'd finished work, so I was like 9, 10 o'clock. And I'm like, go and get changed and showered and that, and then meet you there. So we get to the pub like 10 o'clock. So I'm like half 10, 11 o'clock. And then we get there, we get proper smashed in this space for like an hour, 2 hours. And then we were like, obviously we couldn't go back home because then we were still living with our parents and that.
I just moved out near you at that point.
Yeah.
I moved out when I was 17, but that's why we started drinking a lot together, because the Kings was our local. I'd moved next to you.
Yeah.
And you were around your dad's most times.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times.
Yeah, and then so we're like, we want to stay out. Like we can't go anywhere. We really want to stay out. So then I think we're just googling like night out on a Monday or something. And
it was coming up. Do you remember it coming up with that place with loads of trampolines, and we got dead excited, and it said it closed like 3 years ago.
Yeah, because we were looking on because we were like Google wasn't doing that, so we looked on Facebook, and there was a bunch of places on Facebook saying, still open and whatnot. And we go on the pages, and they haven't been updated in like 5 years or something. And there was some like, and then you go on like Google Maps, and they just be like this abandoned like just building or whatever from like 5 years ago. Like, clearly still not open. So, but then we saw some place just called Hulk. I think was it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was always called Hulk, wasn't it? I think. Yeah.
It's Hulk's been.
So we were like, we've been. Well, I might have to cut that name out, but you know. But we've been
to where AVM was, and it was the same venue.
Certain nightclub, yeah. So yeah, it was the same venue. So we were like, fuck it, we're smashed. We'll get a taxi down there. So we got a taxi pulled up. We were like, no, it's closed, because from the front it looked closed, didn't it? And then we were like,
it's downside, wasn't it?
So then we walked around the side for a bit. We're like, is it open? There was like a couple of people outside and a bouncer. We're like, guess it must be open then. So we have to go in there and then go up the stairs first for it to actually be open. So it was pretty much AVM, wasn't it? Because it started upstairs So it was pretty much just like the same, but it was on a Monday.
But we didn't know that at that time. Well, I know I didn't. I'd been to AVM a lot of times. I didn't know that venue was as many floors as it was.
Yeah, because AVM was just that one floor, wasn't it?
Yeah, top floor.
And then Hulk, it started on the top floor, and then I think a couple of hours later, they'd open them, or an hour later, they'd open the middle floor, like the floor below.
So about 12 o'clock, you get herded out the top floor like sheep.
Yeah.
There's probably about 200 people getting like pushed down these stairs.
It was such a weird, like thing. I don't know why they did it. And then you get herded out to the middle floor where they played R&B and like dance stuff.
Hip-hop.
And then they do that for
That's when the circles would start coming out and do the dancing in the middle of that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but that was tiny, that room though, compared to the upstairs. Like that was tiny, that little room. Was it like the size of like just like a normal front room or whatever? Just in like this nightclub. And then
it actually looked like a front room as well, it had a fireplace.
Yeah, it did as well. Because I think it probably was just a renovated house, wasn't it? And then that'd open for like half an hour or whatever. And then they'd open the downstairs but keep the middle floor open at the same time. And then there's like everyone would pretty much go like downstairs as well at that point. That was open to like 3. So yeah, it was just weird because you just get. I don't know why they just didn't keep the first floor, like the top floor, open all the time. But so you go from the top floor to the middle floor, then you go down to the bottom floor. But then the top floor, middle floor, and bottom floor are all the top floor was classed as a different venue from the middle floor and the bottom floor. They were like different owners or whatever. Which was just weak because they had different.
Because then they would close the top floor, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
that's it. They would close the top floor, and that you couldn't get back.
So they obviously
it was weird.
Different licenses or whatever, even though it was still the same building, which was just really bizarre.
But yeah, the bottom floor was open until 4 a.m, which we thought was a long time, or like really late. And then we got to places like Liverpool and Newcastle and
that were open till like 6 or whatever. Yeah,
Manchester's like 24/7.
Yeah,
nightclubs and that. Like what?
Yeah.
Like what even is that? Like when you talk to Leila about when she worked in the hotels and stuff, and like, oh yeah, this place is open until 10 a.m.
Yeah.
But then they open again at 2, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
What? I wouldn't be alive if I was from Manchester.
Oh, I know. I had to be constantly like, I've too many rough nights out there.
I know we managed it in a little town, in a little /village /town.
Village.
Yeah, it's definitely, I'd say borders. I mean, we've got a town, so we very much qualify as a town, but the way everyone knows each other and that, it's like a little village, isn't it, really?
Well, but you're saying there's a little village, and like, they've only got like 10 houses, and it's a...
Yeah, it's a little village, and we've got a population of 33,000.
Yeah, so it's a town, it's a town.
Yeah. It's just because everyone's got good reputations, so everyone knows each other. It's just... obviously, you get the vibe that it was a village not that long ago. Like, when my mum was...
Well, yeah, even 20-30 years ago, it was half the size, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, exactly, that's what I mean. So, like, there's pictures of my mum in her garden, like, in my grand's garden, should I say, in the 70s, 80s, and there's a picture, and, like, behind her is just fields and fields and fields. And, like, funny enough, to be fair... Where that is now is where you live in that, like, massive estate, High Grange.
Yeah, that's where my
which
mum lives.
All the High Grange wasn't a thing back then. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was only, it must have been about 20, longer than 20, maybe about 20 years ago now or something. It got built, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, so did they move in when it got built straight away?
No, because they didn't move there till. Well, yeah, my mum and my stepdad didn't move there till 2008 maybe.
Oh, right, okay.
Something like that.
When you left primary and that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was June primary. I think it was year 6 of primary. Because obviously my dad still lived in Wolverton Court. And then from there, Wolverton Court moved to Wynyard. The big posho. And then from there,
next to who? Give him a shout out.
Next to who? Isn't there no one?
Big celeb.
Oh well, look, he lived on the same street same street as one of the houses that is it Duncan Valentine owned.
Yeah.
So yeah, my dad was. Well, he didn't even want to move there because obviously my dad was from like very working class upbringing and background stuff. He just did like well for himself and whatnot and got like money. And then like his ex lassie she was.
Shout out.
And then she wanted to move to like somewhere nicer or whatever. And then they were like the most common people in Wynyard, pretty much. Moving
didn't take much.
Yeah. But yeah, that was boring as all that. living there. And then obviously they're split up. Then he moved back to old Billy in a big house, and then he moved back to where he was.
I remember your house, not Billy. Actually, that was insane.
Yeah, it was massive. That he was renting that as well. It was only there for like maybe 6 months or whatever. So yeah, we're there, and then obviously with my mum and my stepdad, moved to my stepdad's house. Then from there, moved to the salon now. So that must have been like 2008, 2009 or something. I can't remember really.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like basically, we're bouncing
It's
around really.
bouncing about, and then obviously from there, I moved to uni in Borough, and then I moved house every single year. Well, I moved to obviously flats first year, second year house, third year house, and then from there I moved to near Liverpool. Pretty much, should we say? And then I moved into a flat there. Then I had to move again to another flat, and then I'm finally in a house. So I moved 5 times in the
Finally in the house, ready to settle down with the love of his life.
If we say so. But I don't know.
100%. I'm going to tell her you said that. Well, I'm not. Podcast's going to tell her you said that.
But So I moved 5 times in 5 times in 5 years.
That's insane. It isn't so insane.
Absolutely.
I mean,
but hopefully don't have to move again anymore. So
Sarah. Well, I said this to Sarah. Like, she wants to keep moving house, and I said, I'm not renting another house. Like, it's not worth the move.
Yeah. Like, where he's at now is like
next house with him.
House is pretty nice. Like, and it had to.
Yeah, it is really nice. I mean, especially from like say I got kicked out when I was 17. Moved into a nice area, but like it wasn't the greatest. That didn't really work out with my flatmate, so then we bumped out. I went back to my mum's, biggest mistake of my life. Never go, once you move out, like we made up and stuff, and like once you move out, never try and go back.
I could never do that. I could never.
Yeah, exactly. Ever. Once you've got the freedom, the first day of me moving out or going whatever, I was making bacon sarnies naked. Biggest mistake of my life. Also, that hurts. But you can't do that at your mum's house. So when you move back in, it gets kind of awkward pretty fast.
Well, when you cut bacon sarnies naked.
Yeah. Like, Mum, I'm making you a sarnie. What you complaining for?
And some sausage making with the bacon.
Oh, yeah. And you're gonna do
You're just naked with a little apron on.
Done me dirty there, mate. You've done me dirty there.
Is that all the sexual things you were about earlier?
So after that, I finally bumped into and it was in a bad area. I don't like saying that because it wasn't for me in my eyes. Like, it's not a bad area. It's what you make of it, really. But I definitely wouldn't have personally raised my kids in there because there was a lot of violence.
Your class is like it was one of the worst areas of the town.
Yeah, if you want to name it and stuff, it definitely wasn't pretty. But like you say, we've already mentioned all this earlier anyway.
Yeah.
And I lived there for about 4 years until I met. Well, I re-met my ex.
The love of his life. That is now.
And then we had to move. See, the way it works is it's all one area, and like the bottom bit is known as the rougher bit, and then there's the further you move up, up the street essentially.
Yeah.
The nicer it gets, and I'm at the top now, so all the people like.
Oh wait, is
that from
the bottom to the top here?
So all the people that I don't know from the area always wind me up, and they're like, "Oh, you're a little snob now" and stuff like, And I'm like, "I'm not. I swear, I still drink Carlin." You know what I mean?
Show me Carlin. There you go. How it is.
I'm down to earth. I swear.
Oh, it was amazing. Remember getting that Tesco's all lager and stuff. That's just a whole other story. That really. But
nah. No, I remember that because it wasn't us that originally got that. It was Cal.
Yeah, it was little Cal. Yeah.
And he what he did is he said, "Oh, that tastes horrible." That it was on my 16th birthday, and I had a fridge full of alcohol. Like my mum had bought for like you and like Joe. Mainly, she said save them for them too because obviously
second sons and that.
And I was like, yeah, sound. So, like, I had a fridge full. She buggers off, and then Cal's the first to come, and he brings these, 6 cans of Tesco lager, because that's all he's down.
Yeah, I think, but didn't he say they must have, was it, £2 for 4 or something?
Yeah, it was something
Something
ridiculous,
like-
man.
yeah.
And
Well,
he
no,
drank half one,
yeah.
and he went, "It tastes rank." He went, "Can I have one of them in the fridge? Because the fridge is full." I went, "Right, you can have one." Like an hour later, half it's gone.
yeah.
And all that's left on the top is
Just Tesco.
3.5 cans of Tesco lager
Tesco's
that
like
he's happily just left for us.
So-
And he actually, I don't even remember it, he pretty much whiteyed and went home because he
Yeah.
drank all the alcohol.
Yeah, well, yeah, all your house parties, that could be it. Yeah, even that itself could be a whole.
Yeah,
podcast as
we'll
well.
that's a slight touch on that, but yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
give me a little tease for the stories to come. You know,
Episode next week.
exactly. Yeah, follow the socials and the podcast and whatnot for keep up to date. You know, the usual.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you've made it this far in the podcast, jump on the YouTube,
Exactly.
Spotify, and
You
Facebook
know,
page.
I don't think
What's on draft?
anybody's this far, but you know, if you are, happy days.
If you are that dedicated and you're this far, then fucking right in the pussy.
Right, yeah, well, we've been going a long time here. Do you want to should we wrap things up
yeah.
then?
Yeah, we can do the. You want to do the outro?
Yeah,
You want to do the beautiful outro?
So yeah, we appreciate you all watching. If you have watched it this far, don't forget to follow it, rate it, download it, leave a review because I know you can do that on some sites. Whatnot. Follow us on all our social media at on Draught. I said, oh no.
And oh no!
Right,
I understood when you wrote it.
no.
Right, Jay. So basically, Josh can't spell draft.
right.
Like
I have
he's
spelled it,
misunderstood that a draft on
Yeah. Right.
pints
No,
is
right. So
spelled
yeah,
the way
it's,
it is.
it's follow us at on Draft Pod, but spell DRAUGHT on
Like
Draft Pod.
in a pub.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in a pub. As you hang on, if you're watching this, you can see our title.
Well, yeah, so it's pretty much that. But instead of it being
Definitely give 'em a shout
what's
out.
on draft, it's our socials are just at on Draft Pod because somebody took
Yeah.
somebody took the
Yeah. Also,
s-
I did that. That's upsetting.
yeah so yeah, I looked at it. It was a account made in like 2009, never been updated since. But
Talk about he'll be selling that name to us in the
yeah,
future.
exactly. You'd be like, oh, I wasn't good for this. So yeah, obviously, yeah, leave any feedback because obviously we're still new to this. Obviously, our microphone quality might not be the greatest, but you know, we'll keep improving. It should soon sound all right after some After Effects and whatnot.
They don't give away our secrets.
I know,
They don't know that we're on Tesco mics.
Tesco
that would be it.
mics. We're on good mics, but you know, they could be better. You know, happy days.
Oh god, yeah. When we're in a studio next to Will Smith, we'll tell you.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. See you in a bit.